CFR Network, CFR Sports. Good day, good night, all. Back in the building. I got the sibling with me, Mark Hamilton, Express Truth. What it do, sibling?
What's going on, man? We in the building, man.
We out here, man. We had to link back up and discuss some local town news and some other combat sports fighting. So, as we already know, as the world knows, look at me now, hashtag. Rocky did the damn thing, as us as we know, as we've spoken about many a times, many years back, man's gonna be champ. And he did the thing.
Real talk. Real talk. He shocked the world, man. He shocked the world. Um, I was ready to see it because, as you know, Noble, I'm not like a big
Yeah.
UFC guy. Like I literally got into UFC because of guys like Leon and Silk, because
Mm,
these are guys that I personally know. So knowing that these guys were fighting, and when I'd go, because I used to go to like their amateur fights and stuff, and when I'd go to the fights, I didn't know what I was looking at.
yeah.
So that's how I got into UFC. But with Leon and this fight, literally, this is the God's honest truth. There was only two men I personally know, and you're one of them, who was saying that he was going to win the fight.
That's
You know
crazy.
what I mean? Everybody else was not like, they were literally like, yo, nah, like they weren't giving him no chance, like at all. So I stayed up, I watched the Joshua,
Mm,
and then I fell back asleep, set the alarm,
yes.
jumped up, watching this now. And obviously Rocky's Erdington, you know what I mean, through and through.
Yeah.
So, I'm waiting up saying, yo, I need to see this. Watching the fight, but because I don't know what I'm looking at, I'm on Twitter at the same time. So I'm on
Ooh,
Twitter looking at like the commentary pages,
yes.
and every minute I keep refreshing the page, and literally I'm getting ready to turn off the TV. I'm like, I'm tired. Everyone's
Mm,
saying, oh, he's lost this, it's done. My man's, it's a shame, rare,
yeah,
rare.
yeah, yeah.
Someone was even saying it's an embarrassment for man to fight for the title like this. And when I seen Dave in the corner kicking off, I'm like, boy, I don't even want to watch this no more, because I can't take the slander of a fellow Brummy. I'm
Yes.
like, let me turn this off. Literally, it was like something out of a movie.
Mm,
I jumped up because my kids are always losing the remote. I jumped up to turn off the TV, and all I see is on the Twitter when I refreshed it is, yo, I can't believe Leon Edwards, man. I'm like, yo, what's going on? Now remember, my head's in my phone, the TV's on, but it's early hours of the morning, so you can't have
yes.
the TV on. Like, so remember, it's a stream I'm using.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Yeah. So I've looked now and I'm like, yo, what's going on? But I see Leon, I've missed the kick, and I just see Leon jump on top of the cage. So
Yes.
I'm like, yo, my man's won it. I just, I just, no lie, like I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
Like, and certain seeing them mans, like people don't understand, and I keep saying this to people. I've seen these guys from the ground level,
Mm-hmm.
like him, Silk, Yannick, Natty,
Mm,
Vaughan Lee. I've seen these mans from the days when they couldn't even buy protein shakes from.
mm.
I've seen them from them days with all due respect, meaning that they weren't making no money, basically is what
Yes.
I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen them from them days, and it's like a big family. So to see them get to the top
Yeah.
right now,
Mm.
it was amazing. And the fact that, I mean, I've heard you've been on this UFC thing for the longest, and I know you're very schooled in it. And all I know is this Kamara Usman was sold as this killer.
Listen, let me
Like, you know
jump
what I
in.
mean?
Let
Go
me
to, go
jump
to.
in. Listen, they built up Kamara. And look, let's not get it twisted. He's had an excellent record. He's improvement. He's improved since their last meeting, their first meeting, way back 5 odd years ago, dramatically. You know what I mean? The striking's got a lot better. He's takedowns. Obviously, he was predominantly a wrestler, but he's improved his striking with Jason Perillo. Um, he had some wins, had some good wins. He beat Colby Covington, twice. Questionable. Now let's get into the questionable elements of it. Kamaru Usman is a good fighter, but he's a dirty fighter.
Mm.
He's grabbing the cage, he's putting fingers in gloves, he's faking eye shots, he's faking groin shots. Nah. And I didn't hear nobody on the commentary calling this stuff out, but the call that when Leon one time grabbed the fence and Herb Dean was all over it, man, all over the thing. Like, yeah, man, let's stop the thing. You get back down on the floor, Leon. We want Kamaru to win. We want him to beat Anderson Silva's record. You get down there, man. You're already losing the fight. Just hold this thing and just hold the thing and that's it. But no. Didn't go down like that. But yes, they did promote him as the pound for pound GOAT, in essence, number one, which he's definitely up there in the pound for pound, but he needed more. He needed at least another 4 fights to solidify himself before you could say, yeah, he surpassed everybody in the welterweight division.
Yeah, it's like so basically you're speaking from the position of someone who knows this thing.
Mhm.
When I seen Kamaru Usman, he was rolling with like that not the brother with the heavyweight that's knocking man out.
Yes.
Yeah. What's his name, Noble?
His name, his name just
Nguani or
Francis
Francis.
Ngannou.
Yes,
Yes.
that's the guy. He's rolling with him
Mm.
and
And
Israel
Adesanya.
Adesanya.
Yes,
And
indeed.
I'm looking at these men and they're like, yo, these men are the African brothers in the
Yeah.
UFC. These men are, you get me? Like, and
Three Kings, them call him. Them call
there
him.
you go. There you go. Kamara's calling out Canelo.
Listen, Mark, you already know. You already know the thing. And money, that's all it is. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous for him to even do that. But in this modern age of social media and clout chasing as they call it, this is all part and parcel. He wants to parlay a conversation where he can make a lot of money because he's making some guap. Let's not get it twisted in the UFC, but they've been in the media for quite some years in regards to their racketeering mafia style contracts and how they pay. Look, people are getting paid is it 18 and 18, I think now, or 16 and 16. So 16,000 to show up, make weights, and if you win, you get 16,000.
That's still going on now.
Mark, it's
But
stupid.
how I knew the pay thing, I know I've spoke to you about it before, but like I said, being close to these men, you kind of
Yeah.
realize that it's a very expensive game they're in.
Mm,
Like their training camps are no joke. Like Silk eats a lot of food. Sometimes he trains 3 times a day.
yes.
There's a lot of traveling, which means he has to dedicate himself to this sport.
Hmm.
He can't work a job and do this sport.
Yeah.
I've seen mans over the years, and I'm like, maybe now, Rocky can bust them doors open. And I know the conversation's uncomfortable, and I've had it with a lot of mans, even with in his camp. And I've said, yo, he don't really do all that rah-rah stuff. You know what I mean? He don't really, even how he won that, you could see he was uncomfortable out, when he won and he's like, look at me now. It's just not
Yeah.
Leon. You
Yeah.
get
Yeah.
what I mean? So it's hard because I want to see this brother make some real life changing
Hmm.
now.
Hmm.
Like, Eddie Hearn always says that you have a small window to eat.
Yes.
And yes, I mean, on a personal level, you can eat, but I'm looking now and I'm saying generational. His next
Mm.
3, 4, 5 fights, every payday should be, by the third payday, it should be about his great grandkids.
You'd
You know what I mean?
think?
And that's how I look at this thing, but
Mm.
I've heard it don't go like that in UFC.
Unfortunately not. Unfortunately,
Unless you're Conor McGregor, no.
exactly. Exactly. Unless you're the favorite one and you're given certain preferential treatments, I mean, let's look at it. Rocky ain't got no police things to do with, you know, beating up old men. He's not going to court for speeding, and he's not got all kind of allegations about women and you know, all that kind of stuff going on. Rocky's clean, so he's doing his thing, and he doesn't talk. He's not braggadocious in that respect. So he's quote unquote not marketable. And obviously, you know, the unwritten rule, you got to be one of them. He's got an uphill battle, and he's had an uphill battle. Look now, all of a sudden, now you look on Twitter, and you've got the running man, aka Jorge Masvidal, saying, "Yeah, man, let's do the thing." Even though I assaulted you in London and then dipped off with security and then hid from and didn't want to fight, and then the fight gets announced and then he pulls out of the fight years later, all of a sudden he wants to fight Rocky because he's got the strap.
That, you know what it is though. This is what I was saying this to man from Erdington. I'm saying, yo, Leon shouldn't fight Masvidal
Nah,
because
not now.
he didn't want not when he could have helped Leon, he didn't help him. Leon don't need to give him this. This is tricky, man, Noble, because even like one guy in my gym, he was like, oh, you know, the next if they put him back in with Usman, it's going to be a different fight this time, meaning that Usman won't take his eye off the ball. And I
Listen,
just really want, I don't even want Leon to, I know it sounds mad selfish, but I'm not even looking at this as a fan of the sport because I am halfway like a casual fan now. But selfishly, I don't want Leon to fight Usman next because I don't want it to be a chance that he can lose that belt. I want him to fight, give him an easy touch next, let him get a couple of defenses, let him fight. Because I'm hearing about them putting him in with that Russian guy. You know that guy, you know the guy who looks like Khabib.
yeah,
And I'm hearing he's a killer.
yeah, Hamza.
Man is
Hamza.
saying that he's warm. Leon's keeping the belt warm for him. I'm saying, nah, I don't. If he's a killer like that, keep Leon away from them. Let him have 3, 4, 5 defenses, Noble. Or do you think that's wrong to say as a casual?
Let me go backwards in
Yeah.
regards to the Hamzat thing. He already signed up 3 times to fight him.
Damn.
Yeah, because and to get into more detail of that, they took him out the rankings because he refused to fight Usman on 7 days' notice. Took him out the rankings until he accepted the fight with Hamzat. Then Hamzat had COVID and the fight got rescheduled. Then Leon got COVID, it got rescheduled, and then I think for the 3rd time something happened and he pulled out or something. So he's already said, "Yo, I will fight anybody. I'm here to fight, boss. I want that belt." So, as you say, no, he shouldn't fight him. He shouldn't fight him straight away. Usman, let's look at it logically as well. Usman has had a traumatic KO, the first time he's ever been knocked out in his professional career.
Mm.
Yeah. So, in that respect, I think you get an automatic 180-day suspension so you can get yourself right.
That's 6
So,
months.
exactly, that's 6 months. So then you've got to get into prepared for it, getting yourself back into like light sparring and blah 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 blah. Then you've got to get yourself into a camp after maybe 3 4 weeks of doing that. So a camp, as you know, 2 months, maybe 3 months, depending on how long the camp is. That takes us from where we are now. That takes up to what, May next year. Rocky needs to fight somebody. It doesn't matter who it is, as you say. Give him give him a quote unquote easy touch. Give him whoever. Put Colby in there. Put Colby Covington, even though he's coming off a defeat against the champ, former champ, I should say. But you could give him Colby. You could give him anybody. But as you say, give him a title defense. Let him hold that. Once Kamaru's got himself correct, whether that's 1 title defense or 2 title defenses, then you give him the rematch. It doesn't need to be automatically straight away now. And Leon shouldn't wait.
Remember, Noble, again, I got to keep saying this. I'm not the biggest fan in the world, but when Conor McGregor won the title against Aldo,
Yep.
who at the time he was doing a lot of games, as you know, as we know, saying things about man, and that's why my man rushed out like that and got himself knocked out. my man never got his rematch because Dana protected the money. Whereas
Yeah.
with Leon now, all of a sudden, Dana's talking about, we might do the rematch in March. Like, I want my man to get moved the same way how these, like, since Usman had the belt, no, but does he fought killer after killer, or if they gave him a few?
He has fought some decent people. So he took the belt from Woodley. He's fought Covington, who's the cardio king. He's fought Gilbert Burns, who was a former training partner. Got rocked with him, but finished him with a jab. He's fought Jorge Masvidal twice as well. So, I mean, like the Jorge Masvidal, the second fight, he knocked him out first or second round. The first time he fought him, it was a boring grappling, fence grinding five round decision. So they gave him some things still. They didn't really, it wasn't, he should, once Kamaru won the belt from Tyrone Woodley, Leon should have fought next.
Yeah, yeah.
He beat Colby Covington, Leon should have fought next. Yeah.
Yeah.
They've just been gamming him, man. And I think based upon how his career has been thus far, I think they're gonna try and stitch him again. He's got good management on his side, and he said, "Look, I'll fight. I want to fight Jorge, and I want to fight him in the UK, but I'm not fighting him straight away. He needs to win some fights first. He's got
Oh,
three
is that what
fights.
Leon's already said?
Yeah.
Ah, wicked.
Because he look at his record, and I commented directly to Jorge. Look at your record. You are in no position to be calling out nobody at this point, especially for no damn title, and
But
especially."
no, I gotta jump in. Apologies. You said it yourself earlier. Masvidal's still a money fight.
Oh yeah. He's got a name.
That's the problem when you don't bring that rah shit. Excuse my language. Leon, don't do all of that. Leon's like a true what's the correct word to use now?
Mixed martial artist?
But yeah, he's a true, like, he loves the sport. You
Yeah.
can tell that he cares about the art form. Whereas, so he's so busy becoming great in the cage that outside the cage, he's not really focused on marketing this and doing that and doing all this. His Instagram posts are very generic.
Where is this very different to his brother?
You see what happened with Colby Covington? He had to switch it up.
Yeah.
Even though he's a heel.
Yep.
But that being that heel, Masvidal, same thing with that Miami Vice shit.
Yes.
And you know what I mean? Leon probably needs that fight really to get the payday. Let's be real.
Okay, looking at it in that respect, yeah. And I don't think there's no such thing as meritocracy in the UFC. You know what I mean? So anyone can get it. Anyone will get the strap. They will build it up and say, yeah, man, well, he beat Colby outside of the ring, outside of the cage. So yeah, he's the number one contender now. That's why we're lining him up with Leon. He already assaulted him backstage already. And, Leon was a
storyline business. WWE.
Yeah. They'll drop that stuff. And trust, in that respect, yeah, it will be an excellent payday for Leon. He'll get pay-per-view points as well because it will be a pay-per-view, and they will do it in England, potentially Wembley Stadium, or bring it to the Villa where they can have 16,000 capacity. Yeah. Do that there. Leon beats him up 3 rounds, finishes him easy, light work. You know what I mean? And yeah, because let's face it, Jorge has very little chance of beating Rocky. Very little. He's good. Don't get it twisted. He's a good fighter. He's past it though. He's a 500 fighter. You know what I mean? He's what you would call a journeyman. Yeah.
Who Masvidal?
Yeah, man. He's a journeyman. Lord fire. I'm disrespecting him raw. Listen, he's a journeyman. He's cool, but the way he's conducting himself, especially with Rocky and some of the things, it's just too much, man. It's too much. Just like Covington, excellent athlete. I mean, 2 different kind of athletes there, but Covington is an excellent athlete, but he's just an idiot in regards to this heel position he's playing.
You know what it is? When a lot of men turn heel now, yeah,
Hmm.
because they say, all right, I'll be a bad guy for 10 years. I'm gonna give you some examples. Mayweather
Oh,
turned heel. Most people
yes.
don't remember that. That was
Pretty
Pretty
boy.
Boy Floyd, but he could never beat Oscar De La Hoya because Oscar De La Hoya, you know how it works. So he turned heel.
Hmm. Hmm.
When he turned heel, fam, it became Money Mayweather. Look at the money it's generated.
Okay.
McGregor has been heel from day one.
Let me just slightly. No, you're right in regards to the heel, but it's how far are you gonna go with the heel? Did Mayweather disrespect people's children and mother and father and all this kind of stuff?
Mayweather's done some wild things, but I don't believe he's done nothing like what you've mentioned there.
Yeah. So I mean, this is what I'm saying. That there's been a heel and there's been a heel. You know what I mean? Like, whoa, what are you talking about? Like Sean Strickland, he says some crazy stuff, but these crazy MMA fans, they love it. He just talks violent stuff.
You
I'm
know what
dry.
Colby did? Colby used the political
Yes.
situation,
Trump.
and you have to remember, you know how much that helped him
Mm.
because you gotta remember all them rednecks, all the people that was against Black Lives Matter, all the people that he made them fans.
Yes.
He made those people fans who now started to take note of what he's doing. Now, would I do it? No,
Hmm.
I wouldn't do it.
Hmm.
However,
It's
Colby
marketing.
now he talks that money talk now. I was watching him the other day saying, "Yo, I got a house on my wrist."
Yes.
Like he's turned, you know what I mean? And like a white man like that taking up that position can be very lucrative. Now, when I look at Rocky, it's difficult.
It's not
It's
in him, man.
difficult.
You know him better than me. That kind of shit ain't in him. He could do it, but it's raw not in him.
It don't. I mean, you see, if well, the rumor is, I'll say it right here. The rumor is Silk should be in the UFC
Give me
shortly.
thanks. What the weight division though?
That's the
The
I don't
155.
know. I need to speak to him. Now, I didn't hear this from him. This is the rumor, and I'm only saying this because I've heard it in numerous places
Okay.
that he's next up from Brom for the
Yeah,
UFC.
yeah, 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 yeah,
Or
yeah.
you know what I mean, and he's getting ready. You know what I mean.
Mm.
So, but you see, like his personality now,
Yes, that will fly.
yeah, that will sell because he's more. And I got gigs on Silk. I think Rocky's in some of them as well. Still, that footage is probably worth a lot now.
This is what I'm saying, simply.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I still got all that footage up because them mans, I would be in the gym filming mans all the time.
Yeah,
When
yeah, yeah.
when they were doing their road work and all that, I got
Yeah,
bare footage.
when they was doing the camps as well, didn't you do a lot of filming when they was doing
I
the
used
camps
to
and that?
be in the camps when them man were doing camps. I'd come in, film stuff because I'd film stuff, take pictures. When Silk won the belt, I jumped in one of his camps, film bare behind the scenes stuff. You remember when I took the picture holding the belt?
Yeah, 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 yeah,
That was
yeah.
around them times. So I got a lot of footage on them mans, but it's like Silk's character is more like outspoken out there,
Yeah, 100%.
and that will sell. They'll take a liking to him. Plus, he's got a mad story. He's like half Irish, but lived in Ireland. He's born and raised in Ireland.
Right, I didn't know that.
That's what I'm saying to you. He's been through mad racism out there.
Right.
Yeah, man. I've been trying to
Yeah.
get him to sit down for years, man.
Yeah, he's busy, man. I've been speaking to him as you don't know, man.
I've been trying to get him to sit down and give me the in-depth for years. Like, same with Leon, man. Like, it's potentially close now, but
Mm,
I can't be screwing if he don't come on because
yeah.
he's got management teams who pick the platforms and
Paradigm,
you know what I
paradigm
mean.
management
It's
is
so it's hard. Like you can't just get these man. I could probably get his bro or there's a
yeah.
next MMA done that who did say, "Yo, we're gonna come on," but it's hard, no. But then I can't feel no way because these men have shown the platform love
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
from back even in them days. The man in the gym would always be like, they used to play the show in the gym sometimes.
You see it
That's
there?
how real it is, man.
Is Rockies with same company as McGregor, Paradigm?
Yeah, I see McGregor shout him out.
Yeah. Has
Yeah,
to, man. Has to.
and he's
It's
with Thingy. But remember, this that man started with the owner of the gym in Erdington.
yes. They're coming along. Listen, Rocky has come a long way since UTC days. Long way. Even in regards to his fighting style, the amount of improvements he's made. There's if when we actually get to the part three of this Usman Afro-Caribbean versus African American now, because he lives in America. When we see that, as long as it's not at altitude, it's not going to be the same fight. I can guarantee you it's not going to be the same fight. It's going to be more reminiscent to round one, but a more intense. Round two, same thing. He might get a couple takedowns here and there, but it's going to be a total different fight. I can guarantee you that.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I just, like I said, selfishly, I just don't want. I don't understand what I'm looking at. I can only go off the back of what other people say, and I'm just like, I want him to become. I want him to have like 10 defenses. You know them ones
Yeah,
where
yeah,
his
yeah.
name's edged in stone. I don't want it to
Mm.
be something goes wrong next time, and it's like, oh, he had the belt for a minute, but now I want him to turn into that legend because
Yes.
my little borough of Erdington, like growing up there, like someone like,
Yeah.
coming from Erdington, knowing the school system,
Mm.
knowing the nonsense we had to put up with,
Yeah.
and then seeing man like Rocky, Daniel Sturridge, Agbon Lahore, Zach Knight. Can even throw my mom in the mix now.
Yes, exactly.
My mom, what's my man, Darius Vassell, the Moore brothers, the Osborne brothers, like Mist, Mowgli,
Oh
like
yeah. The
all these
music thing.
people are
Yeah.
from Erdington. Like it's amazing because I know everybody's journey and story. Like I can look and say, oh, that's his brother, or that's his cousin, or
Mm.
that's his. Or I remember the days with him. I remember Mist as a little kid on the bike. I remember Rocky. You know what I mean? Coming to the gym with his duffel bag on. It's crazy to see how life works out. So I just want to see my man just dominate now. I want like
Definitely.
just dominate. You know what I mean? That's why I'm like, I want Dana to show him some love now.
He needs to. Well, from what he was saying in the press conference, I mean, he was saying Wembley. He's never said this before because he's
Mm.
like, I don't want to do stadiums because of the rain, especially in England and all that. But correct me if I'm wrong, doesn't Wembley have a retractable roof or something?
Yeah, I believe it. Yeah.
They'd sell that, man. They'd sell that. That there's no problem with that. He knows the stats on every time they've come to the UK, and they know how big MMA has
And they'll
become
put
over the last.
Paddy on it too.
Of course, they'll put everybody on it. They will put absolutely everybody on it. Paddy, Molly. They'll put flipping Mark Ducasey on there. They'll put my man up from Manchester, Laron. Is it Laron? Yeah, Laron something. Listen, Paul Craig from up in Scotland. They'll pack the cards. They'll put my man from Renegade. Is he from Renegade or Fearless? So Bromute. Um,
That Renegade, that's where Leon goes.
yes.
And
There's
that's where Leon's broskies as well.
all of them are there. Leon,
Matty, you
Fabian,
know Matty.
Matty's there. Flipping Aiden Lee's there. Akon Wallace is there. Tim Wild's there. Everyone making noise and the up and comers. Listen, in the next couple of years, all people are going to be talking about, like at the moment, let's go back a bit. All they used to talk about is John Winkle, and them down there in New Mexico, aka in is it Florida, American Top Team.
Yeah.
That's all they're talking about. Do you slowly but surely, Team Renegade? You're hearing about Team Renegade. You're hearing about Team Renegade, and you're gonna hear a lot more Team Renegade and Fearless MMA. You're gonna hear a lot more of that in the coming years. I can guarantee you that.
No, but this is mad. You know Matty. You know
Hmm.
Matty.
Hmm.
I done my first. He done his first. I was in the first class when he come in his first boxing class.
Jeez.
I'm talking about when he first come in the gym just to try and lose weight or whatever. A man was in the boxing class. And I've seen him go from that. He's a champion now, isn't he?
Yes.
You see what I'm trying to say? It's crazy. Life is crazy. But that mixed martial art thing is gonna save a lot of black youth.
It's gonna listen.
Telling you.
Obviously, and youth in general, because people are seeing I can do this. If I work hard, I can do this as well. And like, as I say, if you're lucky, and let me just say this, you don't need to go to UFC, everybody. You don't need to go to UFC. You can go to Bellator and get paid. You can go to One Championship and get paid. You can go to the PFL and get paid. If you want to go to UFC, that means you want to be famous. Yeah, doesn't necessarily mean you want to get paid. That means you want to be famous. So let's look at it. Fame or money? What's your vice? You know what I mean?
I mean, Leon must have made on that weekend there a mil.
No,
No,
no.
half a mil.
I think whilst we're talking, I'll see if I can bring it up. He probably got maybe 350, 350, 450 for that.
I see
And
what
then
you're saying about UFC now. Now, but Usman got, so if Usman got like 3 million, yeah?
yeah,
Because I'm just asking you now on
yeah.
air, figure out this thing. Let's say Usman got 3 million.
Mhm.
Does Leon now get paid that 3 million beating the champ, or it don't work like that?
Nah. It's all about contracts, and now he's won and he's the champion. He gets automatically pay-per-view points. So that's in essence, once they do over a certain threshold, he will get paid a percentage or however many numbers that equates to this amount of dollars. Once he renegotiates his contracts, he then has his base. So let's say, for instance, he would have started on those 12 and 12 contracts. When he ups his contract again, that will go to, based upon his performances, that will go to 40 and 40. Then it may go to 120 and 120. Yeah. So at this point, I would say, especially because he's in Paradigm as well, and now he's the champion, he should be 350s, I say, 350s, 450s. Francis Ngannou only got like 450 or something for his team. And that
Hell,
man ain't
man.
getting mills. They're not getting mills for their
That's
fights.
the only thing about that sport, man. It's so brutal.
And look at the
It's so
trauma. Mark, look at 10 years after. How are these mans going to be? Especially, look, got Justin Gaethje. Justin Gaethje, violent dude. Michael Chandler, violent dude, takes loads of punishment and all that. What are their bodies and their mental going to be like after all those concussions?
Nate Diaz.
Nate Diaz, Nick Diaz, yeah.
Yeah, you know what it is? That's why I'm looking. Because even how Leon kicked my man's head off, yeah, that looks scary.
It's
Could you see his leg?
yeah,
And I hear them man kicking the bag. Ooh, it's
yeah.
like it broke your neck. You
This
have to
is
think and imagine that pain. Like I remember your bones and when that man kick. I've always said, man, that level of the level of conditioning these men have got is next level.
yeah,
Like these men have got next level condition. Like I've always said, MMA conditioning, like how they train is some of the best training, but putting your body through that kind of brutal and the kind of sparring I've seen them, man. Like I've said, I've seen it. When man's have got on the earmuffs and
yes,
yeah, I've seen it, man. And I'm like, yo, this is like if you see them really sparring hard, like you understand. And even sometimes when you see them boxing and man's are landing proper shots on each other, and I'm like, you're
yeah,
doing that in training.
yeah, yeah,
So imagine, do you know what I mean? Imagine doing that in the fight where the pressure's on and it's crazy. These men are real life gladiators, man.
gladiators, yeah, yeah, prize
For that kind of
fighters.
pee as well.
Mm,
It's
okay,
not even like say 350. Like you gotta factor in tax and the training camp and
this is the
you know what I
thing.
mean, and the
Yeah,
rest of your life because you can't do that past 40.
nah, not at all. So let's look at it. Usman received $42,000 in sponsorship bonus in addition to his 750K guaranteed money. The challenger received 400 guaranteed purse
Yeah.
and 32K for his sponsorship initiatives.
Okay. Yeah, that's. I mean,
That's nice.
Dana's gotta pay. He's gotta pay them more still.
It, you know that UFC's trading on the stock market as
Is
of
that a bad thing though?
no. What I'm saying is, and people are just glossing over this. What does it actually mean? That means that number one, that company is that profitable that they can float it on the stock exchange.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
people can see the value in this and say, you know what? I'm gonna put $1 million to this. What's my return? Oh, so what? I get 32K every 6 months. Yeah, man, let's do that. In
Damn.
in addition, through the zombie apocalypse, the UFC was the number one breadwinner for the I can't remember what the group holding company who owns UFC now, who sold it for all those billions to the Fertitta from the bought it from Fertitta Brothers for all those billions, 4 billion or whatever it was. If there was no UFC, that company would have folded.
Bloody hell.
They're making stupid money. People are approaching the UFC saying, "We will pay you to come to our town or to our
Bloody
city."
Oh, because they're not boost the economy.
Exactly. It brings in. Think about when events come to Brum, like Commonwealth Games, for instance. How much did that bring to Brum?
Yeah,
25
millions.
million, 25 million, they said, or something like that, or 15 million. Something crazy. It was double figures.
Yeah, yeah,
So a couple of days events, and you think about it, they're there for a week minimum. Pretty much the whole UFC are going to be there for a week. Then you've got the fans, yeah. They have little exhibitions and sign-ins and all this kind of stuff. Meet your favorite, UFC star and all that. Go up, and these mans are getting 750 is nice still. He ain't getting no mill though. He's definitely not getting the mill. He would have had to put in a little bit more work, and that's because of his reign why he's on 750. And
yeah,
Ngannou wasn't on
yeah.
750 when he won, and he matched, and he's obviously recovering now from knee surgery. I'm sure he was on as little as 350 or 450.
But then, are you paying when that money's announced? Are they taking tax? Do a man have to pay tax on that?
Yeah. You pay your 20, and listen, depending on this, listen. So this is the mad thing as well. So you fight in America, Rocky fights in America. He has to pay tax over there, and then when he lands here, he's got to pay tax.
Bloody hell, man.
Paying for the fight camp, as you say, he was out there 2 weeks before with all of his
Yeah, and
camp.
then but the UFC might cover that in it, like the
No,
travel and all that.
no. They give you, so they say you come to this fight. We're gonna pay your flights for you and maybe let's say two coaches, for instance, and we'll give you a basic accommodation for those two coaches. Depending on your lifestyle and how you live, most people may not want to have that basic thing. So they'll say, okay, let's upgrade to the best one that you got. And also, I've got another 5 people I'm bringing with me. Okay, well, you pay for them yourself. Okay, cool. So you pay for the airfare, you pay for the hotel, obviously, you pay for the refreshments and whatever, depending on how the thing is. Money, manager, you got to pay your manager as well, generally 15 to 20%. So we're looking at in all taxation, you're probably looking at probably let's say 48% tax with all your stuff before you can then say that's my money. And it's for some fighters, it could be even more than that. It could be in the 50s.
That's that's the only thing, man. Because I hear them man's getting on there now because that Jake Paul was on him about it.
Yes,
When you
yes.
kind of break it down like that, it's crazy because you're right. Management, the coaches have to get you're gonna have to give your coaches because your coaches are full time as well.
Exactly. This is
So
the
you're
thing.
gonna have to pay them at least 10% of that, 5% even
Yeah.
for it to make sense. Yeah, it's a tough game, man.
It's
Warriors
tricky.
for it's a tough game that UFC. And you
Martial
gotta
arts.
remember, like BT's gotta be paying you the UFC some
Yeah,
real how heavy they're promoting that.
yeah. Yeah, man. This is what I'm saying. They know the power of what mixed martial arts 10 years ago was nothing. Mixed martial arts 5 years ago, yeah, it was bubbling. Now, everybody, people don't call it UFC anymore, potentially. Well, actually, no, they do. They do more call it UFC rather than mixed martial arts. But historically, UFC encompassed everything. So, oh, you fight UFC, do you? No, no, I'm a mixed. I do MMA, and I want to get into the UFC. UFC is a promotion. It's not, like Hoovers.
Yeah, it's not the sport. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. They've got that big that the brand is now the sport for a lot of the casuals.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's 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 an interesting position. Um, you know, it's a wonderful sport in its entirety. I don't what we're discussing now in regards to fighters' pay. Come on, man. Like this is what I'm saying. You go to any other promotion, they're not guaranteed, but as long as you've got something about you, you're gonna get paid more than you get paid in UFC. That's
Well,
almost guaranteed.
I watched Paddy Pimblett, and he said that in Cage Warriors he was getting more than he's getting in the UFC.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. And you see, with I'm glad you brought that up. Graham Boylan, I think his name is. He's the promoter, the CEO of Cage Warriors, and he's
Yeah.
also the manager of Paddy Pimblett and all I think, of the UFC ex-UFC fighters that have come from Cage Warriors, which I think is a bit weird for a a promoter to be the manager as well. Dana used to do that in the early days, but it's a conflict of interest. How can you manage someone and you're the promoter of a company?
Yeah, that make like how you've said that now. It makes sense why that Paddy's always at their events. But Leon and Silk came from Cage Warriors as well.
Yes, indeed. Batman
And I'm
and Cage
sure,
Warriors.
and Manny Akpan as well, who listens to the show. Shout out.
Okay.
He's in
Yes.
Cage Warriors. Now. I know about 3 men in Cage Warriors, matter of fact.
You see it there?
That's where that Matty's in, isn't it?
Yeah. Is he in Cage Warriors? Yeah.
Or is he in Bellator?
No. Oh, I don't. No, I can't remember actually. For some reason that's lost. That's come from my remembrance. But
Yeah.
listen,
Yeah.
we could talk for absolutely hours. I know we got other schedules and stuff. So throw your socials out, and I'll make sure I put them down in the
Yeah,
description.
man. Yeah, we have to get back up anyway. Still, this is part of one of many.
Exactly, exactly.
All right, so it's at Express Truth Show, all one word, and then Seymour Cake 87 on the personal. That's SEAMOORECAKE 87, and just type in Express Truth Show on YouTube, Express Truth Show on Spotify, everything like that. We're all over the place, man.
Yeah, man.
But we're getting back up in there. We're only rounding this because I gotta jump on the other stream, but we can link back up because this was getting interesting.
Most definitely, man. Most definitely. So make sure you go over there to the socials, flood it up, like it up. You know what I mean? Add to the subscription, like, comment, subscribe. Tell a friend to jump on the train, and also give me your thoughts on who Rocky should be fighting next.
All right, so this is solely from the point of a self-proclaimed casual fan. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Probably Diaz too, if Diaz wins that against that Kazmat guy.
Perfect.
Can't see that happening, but Diaz too.
Yeah.
Diaz got that little thing at the end.
Yes.
That run say to like, yeah, I'm gonna and give Nate the payday as well.
Mm-hmm.
If he beats him, Colby Covington.
Yeah, I like it.
If he beats him, let him broke up Masvidal, because that's an easy fight for Rocky.
Yes, agreed.
Masvidal, then did run the Usman too.
Yeah, I like
will be there. If it goes Wembley, I'm making sure you get tickets.
100%.
Like, even if I gotta go and chat to Dave, they probably ain't gonna give us free, but we get, because I used to go to all the events, the Cage Warriors, all that, and Silk used to get me in. Then I remember them days. Rocky, I was at the fight with Rocky at the Matthew Everington versus what's my man, Frankie Gavin.
Okay.
Yeah, I was sitting next to Rocky at that fight.
Yeah, man.
That's what I'm saying. That is about 3 years just before the pandemic. Sort of like that. And I remember saying then, and I was like, yo, you're killing it. He's like, yeah, man, I'm doing my thing. Rare. So big congrats, man.
Massive congratulations.
But have you got him coming on here? Because I know that ain't that. I know he'll come on.
I'm waiting for. I've been speaking to Fabian. So Fabian should be on here first, and then trustfully, yeah, I'll work and get Mr. Rocky on this year as well, man. But
You
I'm
cover
out.
this MMA thing still,
Yeah.
so man need to show love to the hometown.
Like, this is the
But
thing, man. We're running it, man. We're going to run through the whole of Renegade, man, and introduce Renegade to the world, man, and Fearless and all the rest of the man. Them. So watch this space, man. Watch this
yeah,
space.
man, and I've told them man as well from Silk and that, like you say, you're talking to. I told Silk, yo,
That's it.
my man's been covering MMA. He knows his thing, rare. So yeah, man. All right, then,
Definitely.
yo,
Yes.
pick back up, yeah.
Peace.